The Steducentre Grade 6 2013 A&A Exam Review English Home Language Part 1 of 3. A water bearer called Tepiso lived in the village of Osaka. He had the important task of bringing fresh water to his family. He carried 2 large pots on a pole across his shoulders. One pot had a crack, while the other was a perfect, proud pot. At the end of the walk, the cracked pot arrived with only half the water. For a full 2 years, this went on every day, with Tepiso bringing fresh water in the pots to his family. They were not very happy with the half-full cracked pot. Now the perfect pot was proud of its accomplishment in carrying out the job for which it had been made. The pot felt as important as a human being and selfishly ignored the other pot. Its boasting made the cracked pot feel ashamed of its own imperfection and misery, because it leaked half the water from the stream to the village. The cracked pot asked the perfect pot to help it mend its crack, but the perfect pot was always too busy. After 2 years, the cracked pot expressed his feelings of being useless and spoke to Tepiso. "I am ashamed of myself because of the crack in my side. It leaks water all the way to your house. I have no value and should be thrown away." Tepiso felt sad. He did not know how miserable the cracked pot felt. He smiled and gently said, "Did you notice that there are pumpkins only on your side of the path and not on the other pot's side? I always knew about your weakness, and so I planted pumpkin seeds on your side of the path. You have been watering the seeds every day. Without your weakness, I could not have grown the pumpkins." Question 1. Circle the letter of the correct answer. What is the best title for the story? A. Growing vegetables. B. 2 perfect pots. C. The cracked pot. Or D. A heavy load. 2.1. Who are the main characters in the story? Tepiso and the perfect pot, Tepiso and the cracked pot, Tepiso and his family, Tepiso and the villagers of Osaka. What is the main idea of the story? A. That the cracked pot feels useless. B. That the boy grows vegetables. C. 2 pots are having a fight. Or D. That the perfect pot feels useless. 2.3. Where does the story take place? A. In a big city. B. In a village. C. At a circus. Or D. At a school. The best title for the story is The Cracked Pot. The main characters are Tepiso and the cracked pot. You can see that by the number of times the story talks about them. What is the main idea of the story? It is A. The cracked pot feels useless. And where does this story take place? B. In a village. Number the 4 sentences in the order in which they happen in the story. Tepiso explains that he plants pumpkin seeds. The cracked pot talks to the water bearer. The cracked pot feels better. Tepiso walks to the stream for water every day. Question 4. State whether the following is true or false. The opposite meaning, antonym, for the word large is pleased. And 4.2, a word with the same meaning or synonym as boast is brag. Question 5.1. Write the opposite form of the word in brackets by adding a prefix. The perfect pot was cracked. Rewrite the word boast by adding a suffix. The what, boast, pot thought he was the best. When we look at a prefix and a suffix, we will see that you'll have a prefix, the beginning, the root word, and then the suffix. So un being the prefix, comfort being the root word, and able being the suffix. So a prefix is a word that comes before the root word. So pre, un, and miss as examples. A suffix is a word that comes after the root word, like li, ness, or And a base is a word without a prefix or a suffix. So like claim, act, or read. If we look at a suffix, for example, able, and its meaning, it will be can be done, and your example is preventable. If you look at the suffix li, it's a characteristic of, for example, bravely. If you look at the y, it means characterized by, for example, brainy. If you look at ed, it's the past tense verb. For example, laughed. If you look at the suffix ion, the action or process of, for example, celebration. If you look at the suffix ment, it's the action or result of, for example, movement. If you look at the suffix ness, it's the state or quality of, for example, fondness. And if you look at the suffix s, it provides plurals, for example, girls. Here are some common meanings. Non, un, im, in, il, ir is the prefix which means not or opposite. For your example is nonsense or unhappy. Re means again or back. An example would be revisit or replay. The prefix mis means wrongly or not. For example, to misunderstand. The prefix d means reverse, remove, or out of. For example, destruction or department. The prefix co, com, con means with or together. For example, construct or computer. The prefix dis, diff, or d means separation, away, or apart. And your example will be disease or dissect. The correct order is Tepiso walks to the stream for water every day. The crackpot talks to the water bearer. Tepiso explains that he plants pumpkin seeds, and the cracked pot feels better. The opposite meaning of the word large is not pleased. The opposite of large is small. And the word with the same meaning as boast is brag. That is true. The opposite of the word in brackets is uncracked. The perfect pot was uncracked. And the word boast that has a suffix added is called boastful or boasting. Question 6. Identify the simile in paragraph 2 and write it down. 6.2. Identify the alliteration in paragraph 1 and write it down. Question 7.1. The perfect pot boasted about its achievements is an example of what? Personification or a metaphor? 7.2. The perfect pot liked to blow its own drum, trumpet, guitar. Question 8. Summarize the story in 3 to 4 sentences, giving about 30 words. Figurative language. When you describe something by making a comparison to another thing. A simile uses the words like or as to compare two things. For example, her heart was as cold as ice. A metaphor compares two things by saying one is the other. For example, she is a walking encyclopedia. A hyperbole is an exaggeration. I have a million things to do. Onomatopoeia is the sound word like beep, ring, or bang. Personification, giving human qualities to objects or things. The angry sea swallowed the tiny ship. Alliteration. This is the repeat of a consonant sound at the beginning of a series of words and or phrases. You clinking, clanking, clattering collection of caligraphous junk. You billowing bale of bovine fodder. Mickey Mouse, ragged rocks. The simile in the paragraph was as important as a human being, and the alliteration in the paragraph was perfect proud pot. The perfect proud pot boasted about his achievements as an example of personification. The perfect pot liked to blow his own trumpet. The summary of the sentences requires you to consider the information in the paragraph. When you answer, you should consider information about the water and the two pots, or the perfect pot that was boasting, or the cracked pot that felt useless, or the cracked pot that did not realize his worth. The story is about Tepiso, a water bearer. He had two pots, a cracked pot and a perfect pot. The one was boastful and the other felt useless. This was only until Tepiso explained to the cracked pot his worth. Question 9. Complete the following sentence. If the cracked pot did not leak water, then what would have happened? Question 10. What lesson can be learned from this story? If the cracked pot did not leak water, then the pumpkins would not have grown. And the lesson that we can learn from this story is that all people have flaws, and even those flaws can be used for something good. Here we have an advertisement. They talk about tough, terrific tackies, colorful and soft for this season. Be fashionable with comfortable tackies for teenagers with style. Buy one pair, get one pair free. What product is being advertised here? Would you buy this product? Give a reason for your answer. Circle the letter of the correct answer. Which group of people is this advertisement specifically targeting? Is it A, teenagers with style, B, Olympic swimmers, C, babies with style, or D, businessmen? What does the advertisement promise to give you if you buy one pair? Tough, terrific tackies is an example of which figure of speech? Rewrite the following sentence into direct speech. Sipho said that he loved his tackies. Sipho said I XXX. List 3 adjectives describing words used in this advertisement. What would make an advert good? How do they attract your attention and stick in your memory? They can use humor to get you in a good mood. They can ask questions to hook you in. They can appeal to your senses. They can use alliteration, rhyme, or a play on words to create a memorable slogan. They persuade you to imagine yourself using their product. They make you feel special. The product being advertised here is tackies. Would you buy the product? Yes or no, and you need to give a reason as to why. It's either you like them or you don't, or you think the advert is good or you don't. Which group of people are they targeting? It is teenagers with style. A. What does the advertisement promise to give you if you buy one pair? You'll get another pair free. Tough, terrific tackies is an example of alliteration. If you rewrote this sentence into direct speech, it would be Sipho said, I love my tackies. And you make sure that I love my tackies is in inverted commas and that after tackies there's a full stop. The 3 adjectives that describe the tackies in the advertisement are terrific, comfortable, tough, fashionable, soft, colorful. Any one of these would be acceptable.